Our last module this week is about cloud computing. Remember those network diagrams from before? The internet was always represented by a cloud. This wasn't an accident. When people say cloud computing, they mean that you will get your computing services over the internet. So think about getting in-house services from your in-house data center. Maybe you use the data center to access sales data and business intelligence about your website promotions. If you want to do this in a cloud environment, it would be exactly the same. However, you wouldn't be accessing a local data center. You would access a data center through the internet. And since many companies use that service, it would be a lot larger than your own in-house data center. It isn't a cloud owned by Amazon or Cisco. The cloud data center is a server farm in a big building somewhere else away from your company. Maybe you don't even know where it's located. This is a map you can find several places online showing the location of all of Google's data centers worldwide. It's kind of funny to read current headlines about smartly located server farms. Fjord-cooled data center in Norway is the world's greenest data center. It sounds crazy, but Norway is cold, and they do have these tunnels that were perfect for hosting computer data centers. By piping water in from the fjords, glacial waterways, the data center is said to generate no carbon emissions. The electrical power is generated from hydroelectric dams. Another story, Facebook to build server farm at the Arctic Circle, is similar to the Norway one. By taking advantage of naturally occurring climates, a data center can be much more environmentally friendly. Other economies that a large facility can offer are maintenance. Your company no longer has to worry about maintaining servers. The cloud company does that for you. Labor. The labor is effectively outsourced, so you don't have to pay for as many people to maintain the data center. Dynamic scaling. Since the cloud company has a giant server base, if your firm needs more or less computing power, that company uses dynamic scaling to increase or decrease what you use on the fly. Backup and recovery. Again, the cloud company can provide for this. Cost. All the items that we've talked about can represent a significant cost savings for a company. Cloud computing problems. It can't be all good, or everyone would be using cloud computing right now. There are a lot of concerns about cloud computing and information security. If I put all my customer data with a cloud company, how do I know it's secure? Many companies feel it's too risky to put critical applications and data into someone else's control. So you see a lot of companies use a hybrid approach when they're considering cloud computing. They'll use cloud computing for non-critical functions and keep the critical strategic functions and data in-house. Cloud computing often sounds all good, but in practice there are some difficulties. If your internet access goes down, there's no way for you to operate at all. If something goes wrong and you own your own data center, you're a lot more likely to influence the results than with a cloud vendor in another country. Also, your company may become locked into a specific service provider and then not be able to change later on. Cloud computing services is often described as fill-in-the-blank as a service. There are many different services that cloud computing offers. The big three are Platform as a Service, PaaS, Software as a Service, SaaS, and Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. This figure from Wikipedia gives examples of each. Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS, would include virtual machines, servers, storage, and load balancers to distribute your processing needs. PaaS, or Platform as a Service, runs your database, web servers, and development tools. It's the environments you're running to do business. SaaS, or Software as a Service, is your applications. You might be running CRM, email, games, or ERP. Okay, let's see what you remember about cloud computing. That was a pretty quick lecture, so you probably get it all. Why is cloud computing considered a green technology for the data center? Cloud service providers can use virtualization and efficient cooling that have smaller CO2 emissions than a regular firm. What are the 3 major areas that cloud providers give service? Come on, we just did it. IaaS, Infrastructure as a Service, PaaS, Platform as a Service, and SaaS, Software as a Service. Now name one disadvantage of cloud computing. You need internet access to make it work. If your internet goes down, you can't get any work done. And also security is a major concern with cloud computing. That's the end of this module.